and availability. Okay. These three objectives we will discuss. We will discuss them in whole term or around the computer security areas. We can see these three objectives or these three elements. We can call them as CIA triad. And last class, we also discussed the concept of the computer security. I gave the two definition. One is this. Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yes,
teacher.
sir, we can see that.
Okay, thank you. Okay. The second definition is like this. They are different. Yes, they are different. Yes. So these classes we continue the discussion about the basic concept of computer security. We continue the model of okay, we can see the model of computer security from here. We can see the table 1 and finger 1. Then we know some security concepts and their relationships. We see the table 1. Okay, we can see they are many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They are 8 concepts, or they are 8 terminologies for computer security. We can see the first adversary. Adversary is an entity threat agent, and they take a threat to the system. And attack is the event the adversary take to the systems. Attack is the agent's action or event. Okay, next is countermeasure. When system face attacks from the adversary, so the management the manager will take some action or some activity to deal with the attacks. So these are countermeasures. So they are methods to face attacks. Next is risk. Risk is expectation of vulnerability with harmful result. And the risk is often given on the resources of systems. Next is security policy. We have designed we have designed many policy or principle to use the security system or to use the computer system. So the policies are the rulers and some practices from the manager or company or others department. Okay, next is system resources. System resources, we can call it asset. Asset. They are the center. They are the center. The adversary and managers focus them because if the adversary wants to take attack or threaten the system, their objective is often asset means resources, system resources. So the managers will protect them from adversaries. Okay, next threat is threat. We can see the actions from the adversary. Vulnerability is the weakness or the disadvantages in the system or in the system's design, and we should take countermeasures to deal with the vulnerability, and we will strengthen the systems. Okay, these are the terminologies. We later we discuss the each aspect of computer securities. We will face with these terminologies. So you should understand them and learn the concept of them. Okay, these are the table 1. This is the table 1. Okay, next we can see the finger 1. We can see the finger 1. Finger 1 is the security concepts and the relationships. In fact, the concept and the terminologies in table 1, and this finger may tell us the relationships between the entity, between the concept. Okay, they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Six concept or 6 entities. We can see the center is the center are assets. I call them system resources, and the other entities, they are 2 entities, owners and the threat agent. Okay, owners and the threat agent or want to take or want to take or use the asset. So the owners give the value on asset. Give the value on asset, and the threat agent or adversary will give the threat on the resources. The owners wish to minimize the risk of asset, but the agent adversary wish to abuse or and damage the asset. So the owners will take some countermeasures or design many policies to reduce risk and to face threat. And we can see the threat will increase the risk of asset. So we can see these six entities. They are many relationships, and the center is asset. We will run the concept of asset to discuss our computer security. So you should know this picture or this finger to understand the entities relationships. Okay, they are the concept and the relationships between them. Okay, we can see from this PPT system, we further discuss discuss some concepts or some elements. First is the asset. Assets are same as the system resources. They include hardware, software, data, and the data contains users, system, and database. And these resources are connected by communication facilities and network. We use the network. We use the internet every day and everywhere. So the network and communication facilities are also assets. The managers will protect them. So these are assets. We know they are the resources in the system. Include many things. And next, we can see the vulnerability of these resources. So we can see the resources will be corrupted, will be unavailable and leaky. So we should take some design. We should design some countermeasures to face the vulnerability, and the vulnerability will be exploited by the threat. And the threat from where? Threat usually from the attack. Attack takes the threat on the system. Or the attack is also a threat. They are little they are little they are some same something concept, and we can say the attack is a threat that is carried out. So the attack is action from agent, from threat agent. Okay, and we can see the attack includes two kinds of attack, active attack or passive attack. They are different concept. Some attack from inside of a department, and some attacks from outside of department or of system. So I will give you the definition about the active attack and passive attack later. Okay, next, countermeasure. We have discussed. These are actions taken to prevent, detect, recover, and minimize risks. So countermeasures are often taken by managers to prevent the threat from the threat agent. Okay, next, we can see the because the because the threat agent take some attack on the system, on the computer security. So we should take countermeasures to face them. Now we want to see the threat consequences. What result will be raised from threat. We can see the four aspects. First, unauthorized disclosure. Unauthorized. So somebody will use the asset without the access, without the access ability. Okay, unauthorized disclosure threat. These consequences threats the confidentiality. Main threat to confidentiality, because I see the three objectives of computer security are confidentiality, availability, and integrity. So the threat often giving on the CIA child. They are threat to CIA child, but they are different. They are a little difference from them. Unauthorized disclosure may threat to confidentiality. And next, we can see the deception deception threat to integrity, deception threat to integrity. Next, the disruption may threat to integrity and availability. And next, user passion may threat to integrity. And we can see each part. They are some examples. They are some examples. We can see for example, we can see the unauthorized disclosure include exposure means release data, interception and inference intrusions or takes the unauthorized disclosure or give system unauthorized disclosure. Next, we can see the masquerade, falsification, and repudiation. They are related to deception. Next, the incapacitation, corruption, and obstruction. They relate to the disruption. We can see the corruption. The attacker often leave a backdoor. So okay, we can see the manager or the programmer designer often give backdoor logic, backdoors on the computer security, and the attackers attackers can use the backdoor logic to do some bad things. So they can give the system some disruptions, and the system will face the integrity and availability is dangerous. Next, we can see the misappropriation and misuse. For example, the hacker gaining unauthorized access. So in fact, the managers should have access to the system, but in this situation, but in user patient, the hackers again the unauthorized access. Okay, these are the threat consequences. We can see they are four parts. And these tables give the threat action or give the examples to rise the threat consequences. You can learn these tables later. Next, next we can see the asset. We can see the asset. We discuss the asset in detail. The asset of a computer system can be categorized as hardware, software, data, and communication lines and networks. So the asset or the resources we are filling within, so we can see the concept hardware. A major threat, we can see the major threat of hardware is the threat to availability. So the hackers will make the hardware can't work. And the next software's threat software includes the OS, utilities, and applications programs. The threat of software is on attack on availability, and the data we can see data involves many aspects. We can see the files or other forms of data controlled by individuals, groups, and business organizations are also usually called them data. And the next, communication facilities and the network. They are the connection between the other entities, hardware, software, and data. Between them are communication lines and the network. We can see the passive attacks and active attacks. We have see them in here in this PPT, in this PowerPoint, and now we discuss them more detail. First, passive attacks. Passive attack are in the nature of eavesdropping on or monitoring of transmissions. The goal of the attacker is to obtain information that is being transmitted. Two types of passive attacks are the release of message content. Release of message content is disclosure of message content, and the traffic analysis. So we can see these attacks. These attacks, if we face, we can do is only prevention. Passive attacks from the system, rather than detection, because the release of message contents and traffic analysis, we can't use the policy or use the countermeasures to detect. Next, we can see the active attacks. Active attacks are different from passive attacks. They include some modification of the data stream or the creation of a fourth stream and can be subdivided into four categories. Replay, and masquerade, modification of messages, and deny of service. So we can say the active attacks, we can easily discover them. We discover them easily. So different from passive attacks, we usually take detection to them rather than prevention. We have many policies or strategies to detect them. So we can see it is quite difficult to prevent active attacks. Absolutely, because to do so would require physical protection of all communication facilities and passes at all times. So we will detect them. Use we will detect them by countermeasures and policies, and to recover from any disruption or delays caused by active attacks. By these attacks, so they are different. There are many differences. The passive attacks to deal with the passive attacks, we use prevention method, and to face active attacks, we usually take detection, or we usually detect them rather than prevention. Because the active attacks require physical protection, to physical protection to face them if we use the prevention method. So you must distinguish them. These two attacks. Next, we can see a finger. We can see the finger. This finger is about a scope of computer security. We see the finger. They are two computer system. And two users. So we can see the circle. These two circles are users request. Users request, and these two circles are also the users request. So we can see the users want to access the computer system. Then before between them there is a guard. This guard will protect the inside of computer system. So we can see when the user users make a request for computer systems resources, they are for security they are for security will be take. First, we can say access to the data must be controlled. Access to the data must be controlled. So this is protection. This is protection. Access must be controlled. Must be controlled. Next, we can say the guard's function. The guard's function. Access to the computer facility must be controlled. So we can say it is also access must be controlled, but the objective is the computer facility. And the last is the last access. The objective is data. Is data, access to data. This is the access to the computer facility. Okay, next we can see the data must be securely transmitted through networks. This involves network security. So computer system 1 and the computer system 2, they are communication lines. They are communication lines. When the users will access data between them, the network security will be controlled. The fourth involves sensitive files must be secure. Means file security. So when user want to use the data or read, write, and other actions on data, the file security will be controlled. So they are for security. First is protection from access to the data. Second is user authentication when user want to access the computer facility. Next is transmission security. We can call it network security. And the next in the inside of a computer system, the file security will be taken. Okay, these are the scope of computer security. They include four aspect. And next we can see these tables. This tables is about the asset and the threat examples to CIA child, and their threat examples to CIA child to these three elements. There are many examples. We can choose or select some to discuss. We can see the hardware threat to confidentiality, on unencrypted CD-ROM or DVD is stolen. So we can say the hardware is stolen. It will make threat to confidentiality. Because CD-ROM or DVDs data will be disclosed. disclosed. And another example, so we can see the equipment is stolen or disabled, thus denying service. So the authorized users will cannot use the equipment if this event happen. So the user with access ability cannot use the equipment. Cannot use the equipment. Next, we can see the softwares example. Also, we can see threat when software is damaged. The threat to confidentiality. Unauthorized copy of software is made. So we can say these situations, these events often happen. The unauthorized copy of software is made, and the software will's confidentiality is lost. Okay. Next, we can choose these examples. Data to the threat. Data's threat to integrity. Existing files are modified or new files are fabricated. We can see in our score management system, if some data of our scores are modified by some unauthorized people, the integrity of our data will be lost. So we can say this is the threat. Data is a threat to the integrity from the data damage. Okay, next is about the communication lines and networks. We can the first threat to availability. Messages are destroyed or deleted. Communication lines or networks are redundant on availability. For example, the people stole steal the communication networks, and the communications between the authorized peoples will be destroyed. So they can't use the networks, and they can communication with each other. So the networks is not availability. Okay. These tables is about the asset and the threat, and this and when they are destroyed, what kind of objective about computer security will be raised. raised. Okay. Next is about the security functional requirement. We take a break. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And then after 10 minutes, we continue our discussion. Okay, this PPT. And we can see next content is about the security functional requirement. Security functional requirement. So if we design the security system, we should take some countermeasures. We should take measures to deal with the threat or deal with the attack. So they are some. They are some, or there are many requirement. Okay, we can see there are three. There are three types. We divide them, or we sort them in three types. First, about the technical measures. And the next is about the management controls and procedures. And last is about the combine the technical and the management. Combine the technical and management. And in each type, there are many principles. There are many principles, or many requirement. Okay, we can see the this finger. We can see this finger. We first discuss the technical measures. Technical measures include access control, identification, and authentication. And next is about the system and the communication protection. And next is the system and the information integrity. But in finger, they are not in order. In this order. They are 60. No, they are 13. They are 13 requirement. The first type include 1, 2, 3, 4 requirements. And the management include more requirements than the technical measures. And the combination of technical and management, they are three requirements. They are all these fingers. So we learn them one by one. First, we see the access control. We can say the managers will set some limit, some limits information, or set some also some functions, or authorized functions on the systems, and the users cannot access the assets without the access abilities. So if you want to access some entity in the systems, you must be authorized by managers. Okay, next is about the awareness and training. This is about the management measures. So the users must be uh, training, and they should master the knowledge about the security risk, security threat, and some measures to face the security threat. So people's trainings is very important, because in fact some people's um, don't understand the importance of computer security or system security. And next is about the audit and accountability. Audit and accountability is also the management measures. Uh, they are two. Aspects. First, create, protect, and retain information system. Audit records to the extent needed to enable the monitoring, analysis, investigation, and reporting of unlawful, unauthorized, or inappropriate information system activity. And then second, ensures that the actions of individual information system users can be traced to these users, so they can be held accountable for their actions. Okay, next is about the certification, accreditation, and security assessment. These are also the aspects of management. Next is about configuration management and contingency planning, and I identification and authentications, and so on. So there are many explanations about these requirements. So I don't explain them one by one. You can see, or you can learn this table from learn this table, and master some requirements. Okay, this part we don't discuss in detail, because there are many uh, details in textbook discussed. Next, we can see the design principles. So this said, despite years of research, it is still difficult to design systems that comprehensively prevent security flaws. Why? Why they are still difficult? Because we had said last class the security of computer or systems is not easy. Is not easy. There are many aspects we can't think about. We can't think about, and uh, there are many requirements to face the computer security and to deal with threat or attacks. You should take many technologies or social measures. So it is still difficult to design a computer system or to design security system. Uh, but good practice for good design have been documented. So if we have some principles to design security systems, and then we can get a good or a well security systems to face attack or to face threat and protect the CIA child from the dangerous. And okay, uh, we can see the principles. Uh, First is about the economy of a mechanism. Next about the fail safe default and complete mediation, open design, separation of privileges, least common mechanism, psychological acceptability, isolation, and encapsulation, modularity, and layers, least astonishment. Because uh, this part are important than the requirement. So we will see them. We will under them one by one. We can see the economic of mechanism. So this concept is about the design of security measures should be as simple as possible. So when you design the security system, you must understand simple one is good one. Simple one is good one. For example, if some product there are many functions. Uh, uh, we we will if that we will face difficult to uh, design them or to product them. So the function the simpler of the function and the product will be used will be used easily. So we should master this principle, economy of mechanism as simple as possible. As simple as possible. Um, they include two simpler to implement and to verify and fewer vulnerability because the function is simple. So the risk or the threat on them are fewer. Uh, uh, are uh, are fewer. So the vulnerability are also fewer. Okay, next, fail safe default. Fail safe default means access decisions should be based on permission rather than exclusion. Uh, the default is lack of access. Later, I will give you a homework is about this principle. Fail safe default. You must remember. You must don't forget the access design should be based on permissions rather than exclusion. If some functions cannot be used, means it is a lack of access. Okay, next, complete mediation. Means the each access must be checked against the access control mechanism. Means the users every access actions should be checked by the security control system. No access can be done. No control systems cannot check them. So if you want to access something, you must through the access control system. Next is about the open design. Open design means the technology and not technologies and the principles and the requirements about the security systems will should be open. Every people can see or can find them and can understand them rather than secret. There is a example is about the encryption algorithms. We know encryption algorithms are open because many researchers can research or discuss them. So we must follow this principle, open design. If they are open, many people can discuss them together and improve the qualities of them. If they are secret, they are secret. They are no they are no good for systems. So we must let the technology and some measures be open. Next principle is about the separation of privilege. Separation of privilege means some users some users have many multiple privileges, but when complete a task, multiple privileges should be needed to achieve access uh, means when we use the bank function, we must have a card and password. Have card and password. Only one privileges cannot done cannot do the action about the bank operations. So we should have two privileges, one password and another we have card. So separation of privilege. Next is about the list privilege. Privilege means each user should have the least privilege to perform a task. Users cannot have the most cannot have the many privileges. If that, then can unauthorized to access system. So they must have the least privilege. Next is about the least common mechanism. Means a design should minimize the function shared by different users, providing mutual and security, reduce deadlock, least common mechanism must minimize the function shared means they are two users. The functions shared between them are least. Uh, psychological acceptability. Uh, it means security mechanism should not interfere unduly with the work of users. Duly with the work of users means the users can understand the mechanism easily and they can they can follow the principle to do the to take the action. They can understand the mechanism easily. And the next is about the isolation. Public access should be isolated from critical resources. Users' files should be isolated from one another. Security mechanism should be isolated means between public access users files and security mechanisms. They are not many relationship. The function should isolated from other functions or the access isolated from critical data. And encapsulation similar to object oriented concept means some isolation functions should be encapsulation in internal internal department means hide internal structured. Next is about modular structure. This part is also related to the structure. And similar or the same as object-oriented concept. Next is about layer. Layer is means defense in depths. Use of multiple overlapping protection approach or the methods means the access ability should overlapping and use many protection methods. This principles is similar to the is related to the separation of privileges. Next, the last one is about the least astonishment. Means the program or the interface should always respond in a way that is least likely to astonish a user. Means the users can use the program or systems easily and can understand them and the system cannot give the users a big astonish cannot give the user a big astonish. Okay, they are the principles to design the security system. The last of these chapters, we will discuss the two concepts about the attacks. They are two structure for attack: attack surface and attack trace. So the first we discuss the attack surface because security systems must face the attack. So we should understand the attack structure or attack types. Then we can take will measures to deal with them. So we must learn this two subject structure about the attack. Attack surface means the reachable and exploitable vulnerability in a system. Means attack surface contains vulnerabilities. We can see the often they are often open port and service inside of a firewall interfaces, SQL and web forms, and employees with access to sensitive information and so on. So we can say these are attacks. These are attack, and they can uh, they can they can be they can be divided into they can be included in a set, and this set is attack surface. So the attack surface is the set of attack. Oh, okay, we can see the three categories. Network attack surface means about the network vulnerability or network attack, and the software attack surface, software vulnerability, and the human attack surface. Um, we can see the network attack surface refers to vulnerability over an enterprise network, wide area network, or the internet. For example, network protocol vulnerabilities are network are contained network attack surface, and the software attack surface refers to vulnerabilities in application, utility, or operating system code. For example, web service software. Next is about the human attack surface. Human attack surface refers to vulnerability created by personal or outsider, such as social engineering, human error, and trusted insiders. So these are the three types. They are the three types of the attack surface. So we can see a finger about the defense in dips and attack surface. We can see attack surface is vulnerability. As a vulnerability, we from this finger we can see small attack and surface from small to large, and the layering is principle to design the is a principle to design the security system, layering from deep to shallow. So we can see um, the larger of attack surface, the larger of attack surface, the shallower of layer, the higher of a security risk. So we can say when attack surface is small and there is deep layers, the security risk is lower. But when attack surface become larger and the layers become shallow, the risk and the security risk will be high. So you should under these fingers between these fingers and the relationship between the attack surface layer and the security risk. This is about the attack surface. It is one of attack structure. Next is attack trees. Last is surface, but this part attack is contained in a tree. Attack trees is a branching hierarchical data structure that represents a set of potential vulnerabilities. Also, the attack trees is also a set of vulnerabilities, but the structures is branching hierarchical and the attack surface is simpler than attack trees. The attack trees objective is to effectively exploit the information available on attack patterns. Means use the information available on attack patterns. For example, this concept is published on CERT or similar forum, and security analyst can use the tree to guide design and strengthen countermeasures. We can see examples of attack trees. It is a bank example. We can see they are four layers. The father node is a bank account compromise. So we can see in these trees each node is a vulnerability or attack. The root node includes five child nodes. Each node of these five child node is a attack. For example, we can see user credential guessing, or injection of commands. They are all attack. And the next level, there are many nodes. There are many child nodes. User credential compromise might have 8 child nodes. And next, they are the fourth level. Is leaf nodes. Or they are leaf nodes. We can see for example, CC1 CC1 farming. It is a child nodes from user communication with attacker. So we can see there are many attacker or many vulnerabilities. Each node represent an attacker, or a vulnerability. If you build attack trees, you must analyze how many layers and how many nodes, who is root nodes, who is child nodes. So we can learn many from this finger. So we can see the attack surface and attack tree are different structure. The attack surface is similar than attack tree, but they are all include they all include many attacks and vulnerabilities. Okay. Next is the last part of this chapter. Is about the computer security strategy. We can see there are three parts: policy and implementation mechanism, and the last is correctness and or assurance. So this part you can learn, you can study them in the textbook. Because there are many descriptions in textbook. So we don't discuss them. Okay. So this chapter it is about security basic conceptions. There are many technologies, knowledges, and some design principles. The importance, the center terminology is CIA child, and the security concept, the definition of security, and what is the design principles of security systems. These are the content you must master. You must understand. Okay. This is the chapter 1. Next, I will give you the first homework. The first is slow. Okay, we can see the exercise 1. Exercise 1 include two problems. They are all in textbook. I use version 3. So they are 1.4 and 1.5. Only two problems. You must do homework. You must do homework by yourself. One person, one submission. one person, one submission. So if you do them, you can answer. You can write the answer after the title, after the title, after the title or problems. For example, you can answer this here. Answer this here, and then when you finish it, you must change. You must change the file name